Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Chocolate Thunder Podcast. I'm Joshua Rosas. Um, Today I kind of wanted to talk about what a lot of comedians consider the big three as far as cities in comedy, and which scene I think I would fit best in. And now, of course, I know that there's a lot of other cities that are definitely huge in the comedy scene. And just the fact, too, as well, that these three cities I'm about to list may not even be in everybody's big three. This is just from what I see people talking about the most. A lot of people refer to these three cities, and it's just, my take on them. I think before, a lot of people used to compare just LA and New York as some of the bigger comedy scenes. And, don't get me wrong, those are super, super amazing spots. I would love to, you know, eventually move out to one of them and definitely check the comedy scene out there. I'm even trying to see if I can plan some vacation time from my day job to make it out there. Probably to New York, just because I see myself fitting more in with that scene. Don't get me wrong, I would love to go to LA, and they have the world famous comedy store over there. The comedy scene is amazing. They have so many freaking legends and killers out there. It's awesome. I mean, the comedy scene in LA, it's just huge. And just because I see myself more in New York's kind of scene, it doesn't mean that I have anything against LA. Obviously choose LA too if I saw myself more out there. But yeah, I think New York's just a better fit. It's just something about that scene. It kind of clicks with me. It feels right. I don't know how to explain it. Another city that I see a lot of people talking about, I see a lot of comedians from this city, especially doing open mics, is Austin. And before I got into comedy, I wasn't too familiar with the Austin scene, so I can't really give you know, any judgment on it one way or the other. Before my time in comedy, but at least for me, I noticed it really booming after Joe Rogan moved his podcast out there. A lot of big comedians went out there and really amped the scene up even more than I'm sure it already was. So I know a lot of people have even moved to Austin as far as the comedy circles go, and I think I could see myself in Austin as far as my comedy and everything like that. But I think the only thing that kind of prevents me from wanting to move to Austin is the fact that it's so close to home. Obviously, I'm a Houston based comic, so Austin, even though yes, it is different than Houston, it's still Texas. It's still, just what I think it's like a 2 to 3 hour drive away from Houston. I wouldn't really be spreading my wings per se. And don't get me wrong, I mean, this is just solely based on what little I do know about the Austin comedy scene. I'm not judging them one way or another. It's just I don't know. I think if I was gonna really just dive head first into the deep end on this, I think I would have to move out of state to really, spread my wings and sort of, just push myself and keep that drive going, to pursue comedy and get better in comedy. Because I think for me, just knowing my own personality, that if I move to Austin, if it feels like it's not working out, it's so much easier to just be like, well, I'm going to go back home to Houston and drive 2 hours and that's it. And I think by moving to places like LA, New York, I know a lot of people even check out Chicago, other there's so many other cities, but just sticking to my main three, I think it kind of, by moving to one of these cities, it kind of makes you have to do it. Like, there is no failing. Home is across the country. You can't just, oh well, it didn't work out good tonight, so maybe it's just not meant for me. It's like, no, either you need to make it work and figure out how to get around everything and how to push yourself to improve and get better and make opportunities for yourself. And this is just for me because, like I said, I know my personality. Yeah, I think it'd be a lot more of a motivator moving to New York or LA and really testing out the waters there, because again, Austin, I hear the scene is great in Austin. I hear that there's a lot of great comedians over there, but again, I just feel it's too close to home. I feel I would become too laid back and not really motivate myself to push on those nights when I maybe had a rough day and hit mics and work on material. I think it just become too easy to become relaxed out there. But who knows? I mean, I'm still new to the comedy scene compared to others. I only started in August, and then because of work and life, I had to take some time off and get back into it again. So I think in total, I don't have that long in it compared to others. But so I think that's what kind of motivates me to work harder and really push myself. And so who knows? I mean, once I get more comfortable here in the scene in Houston, my ideas, my ideology might change, and I might consider Austin, or I might consider LA. It all just depends too on opportunity. I may think New York is my place to go, but if there's opportunity for me to maybe do it full time in Austin or LA, those could be options too. I really don't know. It all just depends on what the universe has in store for me, and just really how much I put in the work, and how things progress. Because of course, like I've said it throughout this podcast, that there's so many cities with huge comedy scenes, great places for comedy. Of course, I can't name all of them one off the top of my head, and I don't think I'd have enough time in this podcast. But just because I didn't list them in this episode doesn't mean that, these are the only cities for comedy. No, there are so many more cities, and who knows? I mean, opportunity might take me out to one of those cities that I probably didn't even consider. So it's there's so many variables and stuff like this. It's not set in stone. It's ever changing. Things can switch up on you the last minute. It really takes a lot of motivation and determination to stick with it and just kind of roll with the punches, because like I said, you don't know what opportunity will be out there for you or what the future has in store. You just kind of got to roll with it and take advantage of every opportunity you get, and don't let it go to waste. So, but yeah, that was just me kind of touching on it. I know there's so much more to get into, and so much more that could be said about these three cities I named, about other cities in the comedy world. But this was just me giving my little take on it. And of course, feel free to disagree with me. This does not fit underneath a universal umbrella for everybody. Other people may hate these three cities that I said, or not even consider them to be part of anyone's big three. So it's all up to you and what your preference is. But I think that's going to be it for me for today. Please leave a like and comment. I love hearing back feedback from you guys. Let me know how I'm doing, or if there's anything y'all want me to talk about. I'd love to hear it from y'all. Also consider subscribing. That definitely helps me out a lot. And be sure to check out my social medias. Usually I leave the links in the description box below. It'll be to the podcast Instagram and to my comedy Instagram. So feel free to go and check out both of those, and follow them. I'd definitely appreciate that as well. And thanks for tuning in. I'll see y'all in the next one.